In this lesson, we're going to look at logging in Azure, and specifically, we're going to look at subscription level monitoring. So I'm going to go and just select one of my subscriptions first of all, and then I'm going to go to the activity log menu option. So straight away, we can see a number of events that are listed on here. So this view is events that are happening on the subscription and to a certain extent to a number of the components in the subscription. I've actually added an additional event category menu option here, and we can see the type of events we're getting. So the most common ones are administrative and resource health. If we go and say add filter and then choose a filter of event category, we can actually see all the different categories that are available. So we can see administrative, security, and so on. And this just gives you an idea of some of the type of events you can actually capture. Now, by default, all events that are captured in here happen automatically. You don't need to do any configuration. However, they do only get stored for 90 days. So if we wanted to look further back, so if we tried to set our time span here and change this back a few months, we'll say we can not go back further in time. So the first thing you would probably want to do is find some way to store this logging information for a longer period. And there's a few different places we can store that. The first thing we need to do is on the top menu here, we have this diagnostic settings. And from here, we can create a diagnostic setting capture and we can tell it which of the events to capture. So first I'm going to go and click and add one. And for example, we might just want to collect our administrative logs. We then tell it where to send it, so we can send it to a Log Analytics workspace. And I've created a default one here, so I'm going to send it to those. We could also send it to a storage account, to an event hub, or a partner solution. So you can send it to actually all of these at the same time if we wish. An event hub can often be useful for third-party integrations. So some SIEMs might want you to create an event hub and send the logs to it in order to be able to capture those events themselves. Partner solutions are those customers who have got deeper integration with Azure. For now, I'm just going to choose my default workspace and click Save. So from this point forward, all my logs for my subscription are going to get sent to that Log Analytics workspace. But I'm only capturing the administrative logs. So if we wanted, we could set up another diagnostic setting. This time I might want to set up and just send security logs. Again, I could send them to the same workspace, and in fact that's what I'll do for this example. But more typically, you might want to send them to a separate workspace. So your security team might want to see all the security events in a workspace that they have access to, whereas your administration team and support teams might just want to be able to see the administration logs. Either way, we've got a lot of granularity and configuration that we can achieve here. As well as activity logs, each individual component within Azure has its own logs. So if we go ahead and select, for example, let's have a look at our all resources, and I'm going to pick a network interface card. Again, we can see the normal activities in the activity log view here, and these are the same logs that we saw from the subscription level view, but we can see that actually we're limiting it to what we can see to just any events that happen within the resource group. But what I'm interested in is under monitoring, we have these diagnostic settings. So in here, we can set up a completely set of captures that are specific to a network interface. So now when we click the Add Diagnostic setting, although we've still got the same destinations we can send to, and for example, we can send them to our same Log Analytics workspace, the actual events it's capturing are completely different. This time it's just collecting metrics. If we do the same for a different resource, so for example, this time, let's have a look at Network Security Group, and again, go to Diagnostic Settings. Now we can see we have different types of logs we can choose. So the point is, for each setting, we can choose exactly what we need to do. However, even though we capture subscription level events automatically without us only doing anything, it only gets stored for 90 days. And if we want to capture events such as component specific events, we have to manually go and set these up, or we could create a policy. How we do that via policy we will see in a later lesson. Before we leave this view, I just want to show you one more thing, which is from the menu we can also go to this monitor view, and this is an overall monitoring view for the entire subscription, and we can see here that we've got different things we can look at. So for example, we can look at virtual machines, we can look at storage accounts, which give us some basic metrics. But more importantly, the reason why I'm showing you this is we can go to this diagnostic settings, and in here we get to see all the different components, and more importantly what components we can enable logging for. And again, from here we can go into to a particular component and again go and add individual diagnostic settings that pertain to that component.